Yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
Definitely feels like you guys. I don't know. How much have you seen of her? Like, have you had to sort of check in with her?
yeah, so this morning.
Just realised I'm recording now.
What?
Right, I'm in. We're on.
What do you think?
It's happened.
I'll sign a disclaimer so you can use those audio files. When's Lion done? Right.
Yeah, I saw.
And it's up to Lion.
Hello.
Hello, Daniel.
Hi.
Hi. What happened there? Did it just send you an email in the end, or did it go?
It was just a notification in my notifications bar at the top of this thing. Just can I ask you, if you want to identify me, do use this perhaps, or Daniel Harris. I'm fucking anal about my name, but like DanH, kind of like. Anyway, that's not what I'm called. Just so you know.
Okay.
It might identify me somewhere, and someone, you know. Anyway, and definitely never Danny.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, it's just my sort of like trying to keep it small so it fits on little areas, but I'll go for Daniel Harris. So.
Or whatever you feel, but just something that, yeah.
Nice.
I don't like it, because then if people start calling me Dan, it feels too familiar for me in a business sometimes in some situations. So I kind of like, fucking hell, I'm bloody anal, aren't I? Jesus Christ. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm pretty good, thanks. Bit chaotic this morning. I was helping a couple of friends with things and sort of techie problems and overran, and I feel like I've not sorted out much stuff. But then I've also landed a train ticket for London tonight and stuff that maybe has made things easier. So yeah, I'm all right. I'm just about to go out for lunch at a friend's house and chat a little bit before jumping back in. But
how much time do you have?
Nice. Pardon?
How much time do you have?
Yeah, if I can leave in, I guess we're just like catching up on stuff where we're at and get back up to speed. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, kind of sooner the better, but it's not a desperately urgent thing. It's just some chill time really for lunch, and I'm already a bit late, so maybe 20 minutes or whatever.
Okay. Cool.
Yes. Yeah. Nice to check in with you again.
Yeah. Shane, the dates don't seem to work for me, but I guess you just have to choose one set of dates, really. And that was, who was the girl that was specifically couldn't do any other day other than those dates? So obviously she's important.
I felt like one of the, I don't know, I don't like to sort of see one person as more important than another, but I did feel like Jack Pascoe doing the filming of Change the Future generally, kind of leading that whole aspect of the project now and really taking it seriously. Like, he's really inspired me with his enthusiasm and energy. And he is available. I noticed it was he was available on that day, and so I really kind of was like, oh yeah, I really want him to be able to be there and capture the event and tell that in the story. So,
Sure.
I'm not sure about the girl.
It Angie.
Angie. Yeah, so she's my friend from the States, and she has got quite a lot of experience doing like graphic design, branding.
I think she was on one of the calls that we were on. Was she on a call before? She seemed really enthusiastic.
Yeah, she is. She is really on the case. She's had a couple of personal things that are sort of sorted now, pretty much, but they've definitely been a sort of thing that's required a lot of her attention until
We have to
recently.
be careful what we say, don't we?
Yeah.
This could be
Yeah.
watched
No,
by 1,000 people right now.
I don't need to go into detail, but yeah, she's fine with me sort of saying that. I think basically she's in a pretty good space to sort of start doing things. She's already been tinkering with general sort of branding things, and I've just updated the placeholder web page, so it says actually a tiny inkling of what the project's about, plus all the online resources, from the Facebook group to Trello and Rosoma and things like that, sort of explaining what they do, what we use them for.
Do you do all the graphics?
Pardon?
Do you hear me very clearly or not? Very.
Yeah, I do if I'm not speaking.
If you're not speaking, you can hear me, but if you are speaking, it cuts me out. I wonder if that's a function of my mic, because I think it happens with other people too. I shall try and change.
I think that's quite standard with.
No, because if you speak, I can hear you. So as you carry on speaking.
Okay, I'll keep speaking while you talk, and then I think it's whatever voice is loudest, basically. So now, yeah, you're not making hardly really any noise.
Right, I can hear you. I think my mic is cutting it down based on it's my mic is somehow. Anyway, I shall look into that and see if I can.
It's prioritised my voice.
Headset.
Maybe I shout louder than you.
In fact, I do have a headset. Let's see if this is going to work in situ. Anyway.
Yeah, man. So yeah, I guess I didn't sort of have any particularly massive individual pressing thing to share. Just nice to say hi and sort of keep feeling.
How's it going with generally this? Well, the audio might crap out for a bit, but let's have a look.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yep.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah, stuff's really good, man. It's really nice. So it was only this month that I finally started paying my rent with the crowdfunding money and kind of really taking it seriously as an actual full-time job and prioritising it above everything else. So, yeah, I've definitely started being able to put in the hours. I was in the office till 5 AM yesterday, doing loads of stuff, and it felt really good.
Cool.
Yeah, there's just an incredible amount of opportunities, I think, and sort of differently. It feels like I'm kind of spinning 1,000 plates, and I really want to, I guess, kind of inspire and then upskill people as much as possible, so there's more hands spinning plates.
Yeah.
And kind of more influence over the project kind of devolved to other people, you know, like not forced down their mouth, but I think that's basically what I want the event to do, kind of really inspire people to kind of take some leadership over the project and shape it into what excites them.
Right.
Yeah, I want to be in more of a servile role, I think, kind of solving other people's problems in terms of like how they're able to contribute to the project. So I want to help people with paying their rent through to accessing space and getting the information and resources they need and networking with the right people and answering questions, all those sort of things. So I want to be like a servant to change the future and the people in it and kind of assist everyone to contribute.
Yeah, yeah. So I wonder why this isn't particularly working yet.
You sounded a little bit auto-tuned for a second there. Sound like you're on top of the pops.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
No, you sound good now. Yeah, so I guess, maybe one thing we can do is, if you want to, work out a time when we can have like a proper catch-up, whether face-to-face or in a meeting with other people, and have a bit of an agenda and stuff. Because I guess now we'd sort of just...
What would the kind of things be that we want to talk about? I remember user stories or something. From my side, I was just at WeShare, which was really interesting, and it just came across another load of people doing very, very similar things in terms of ideas and systems to try and make ideas evolve and work. There was some mention of like Lumio was there, and there are a few other people kind of looking at crowd stuff, crowdfunding source stuff. So yeah, I really recommend that as a community to kind of track a bit of this kind of stuff.
What community?
WeShare Labs. And
WeShare Labs.
Basically, if you go to, should I type it into? I'll type it into Skype because it exists in Skype. It is http labs.
It does what? It links out. You mean a clickable link?
If you go to that, you will find stuff. And there's a Facebook group, there's a blah, 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 blah group. And the Facebook group is the one that's most active. But basically, there's a lot of stuff being done. There's the whole wider WeShare organization, which is huge in a collaborative kind of way, because it's all about collaborative economy. And then there's WeShare Labs, which is more the kind of doing the technical side of things. So, and looking at technical solutions, and there's a lot of people obviously doing, social networky type of stuff, and with there's the maker side, and then there's the kind of like ideas side. So makers about producing things and collaboratively, and then there's kind of like people with idea. Then there's a kind of ideas networks and things like that, which are a few of them are listed as projects on the website. It is there.
Who's John Richter?
I probably should know, but I don't immediately spring to mind. But he's got
Oh, okay, so this is just that's an embedded Twitter feed of anything #OSLabs14. So you're helping organise this event in Paris?
That's happened. That's done. I was there.
Okay. 1 second. Hold on, just a jiffy, Dan.
Oh.
Hello. It is. Hello. Yes, I'm very good, thanks. But I'm just in the middle of something right now. Is it possible to call me or can I call you on this number in a bit? Will you be around? Okay, fantastic. All right, I'll probably call you in about 10-15 minutes. Cool. Thanks a lot. Cheers. Bye. Hello.
It's really strange. This is probably being seen by 1 million people now.
Yeah.
It just gets put up there, doesn't it? It's really funny that they haven't. This whole disintegration between Hangouts and Hangouts on Air is like really weird for me. Just why can't they just make it the same thing?
Oh my god, mate! I have no idea. I just can't imagine. I like every time now that I identify a problem, which is there's a fine line between being frustrated by something and identifying a genuine problem. But for like simplicity, like, I would say that is probably most people would agree that is a problem, that it's so separated, and once you've logged into Google Hangouts, you're kind of already down one fork, and Google Hangouts on Air is like down a different fork for some reason. Even though they sound identical and do basically the same thing. And I just try and think of the Change the Future process, and like how that you would create a group for Google Plus and say, challenge, how can we make this less shit and confusing? Proposal, just have them in the same place. Would you like it on air or not?
Do that, like just have options on the Hangout saying, do you want this to be on air and recorded?
Exactly.
Do you want it to be public, private, or whatever? It'd just be so easy.
I feel like I know Google well enough to think that they will have thought of that to some extent because it's so obvious. But I just want I want to see on my proposal their concerns or their reasons why it's not being done or it's complicated.
Sometimes you would think these companies are really wise and they really are playing a game of kind of like holding back technology so they can charge for it later. Sometimes it just seems like they're just totally stupid and they have not thought of things. It's just like you are ruining your own business model, like Facebook. For instance. I quite like being on air. It means you can be really sort of like, you can say crazy things and millions of people will go, ooh, ah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Imagine someone who hates everything we stand for just taking out all the bits like this, no bed, and just cutting those together into a montage saying, this person's trying to overthrow the government and be the next prime minister or something really accurate like that. Anyway, that's kind of what's really nice about, that's what I feel like is really bulletproof about the ideology of Change the Future, is that like you could never say it's one person trying to do something with a bad agenda, because it is just by definition a completely distributed decision making process. So the worst you can say about it is everyone's stupid and evil. And I think that's a weak argument.
I think that's a brilliant idea. Everyone is stupid and evil. I think that's brilliant.
That's a new brand. If
I
we
think that's
run
great.
that brand,
listen, everyone is stupid and evil, and that's just what we. So everything that we build has to work in that on that premise. Awesome.
Right. You're definitely called Daniel Harris when you're in Change the Future mode. We'll both make aliases for this second venture. We'll just wear masks.
No, not at all. I already did a stupid day where you would. On Stupid Day, unfortunately, I didn't realize it was on the 11th day of the 11th month at the anniversary, and I just forgot that, and I called this. I just woke up and I thought, hey, this is Stupid Day, and so on a Stupid Day, you got someone to say you are stupid, and on Stupid Day, they go, yes, I am stupid, thank you, and so this repeats, and then and so we did a little bit of it. The only problem was when I started inviting people in that hadn't read the text beforehand, and they just like, don't call me stupid, but they hadn't read the text, which built up for it, because it's all about actually, I mean, there's something really important about it, which is insults. You know, if something gets to you as a human, then it's up to that person how they react to it, and it's an awesome kind of idea that you can actually just thank you, and actually letting something go into you and past you, and just say thanks, I'm stupid. Yeah, now let's get on, because those insults don't actually contain anything. They're just there's no information in there that's useful. So it's thanks, I'm stupid. Now let's get down to. So yeah, I'm stupid and evil. Now let's get past that. Now let's get down to what is there that we really need to do. Like it. No need for aliases.
I want to just sort of give a third, just because I like you knowing sort of like key bits if you're interested in sort of like key milestones in my thinking and the project's progression. I think just
great. I love to
your brain nuts but I feel like there's 3 things I really want to nail, which represent the process of how we can right now as a collective movement really drive the project forward effectively. And the third one is task management. And that's the easy bit, I think, because I think Trello, once we've trained people on how to use it, can do quite a good job of that. So before we know what tasks need to be done, and we can start assigning them to people, or to ourselves rather, we need to go through a decision-making process that's democratic and easy to use, and like hopefully even your grandma could use it. And even before that is the first stage, 1 of 3, which is kind of more open discussion that we can use for identifying problems and discussing strategy and vision and stuff, and that will ultimately lead to proposals which we want to democratically vote on. So we've got ideas for all 3 of these, but the only one that I think is really good and works beautifully is Trello, but we're kind of missing the steps before that. So we've got Lumio as an option for decision making democratically, like let's use Skype instead of Google Hangout for these talks, for example, or let's record the minutes this way, or let's organise an event for this, whatever the decision is, like we need to make decisions all the time as a group. So I think Lumeo's okay, but it's not great.
Could you just go with anything that works slightly, just to get because it's about an iterative process. It's saying, okay, so you've got Trello, Lumio, something else, whatever, even if it's email, or whatever, just or Google, whatever, but just like that's the baseline. Then go for, and I think you are anyway, because that's what I see. Like there's Lumio and stuff being used, but it's almost like, because really, ultimately, yeah, the tools need to be created or improved, or you know, either find open source projects that need to be improved or create new projects. You know, so it's like,
yeah, definitely.
For me, it's kind of like what concerns me is getting hung up on finding the right tool in order to produce the plans, because the plans, you know, the requirements are what's important for me. Like the stories, the requirements, in order to say this is what the screens look like, this is how the stories go, what we need.
Yeah.
You know, you're really great at making events and getting people to come along and yada yada yada. Do more and more and more. Find some funding, and you know, the interesting thing as well is there are. I'll feed it through to you when I find out more. There's European funding around for small actions like this. So, yeah. So.
I think that's sort of what I've been feeling too. Yeah. And yeah, if you look at changefuture.co.uk now, you'll see that's kind of what I'm doing at the moment. Hey.
What I see.
There. Oh, this is Angie. Is it this one? She's American.
Say something, Angie.
Hello.
Oh yeah, I think.
Look how dark we are. We look great in this light. Fucking hell. Don't we look fit?
Like you turned into some kind of 1970s album cover.
We do.
God, my teeth look white. My teeth are actually yellow, but they look white in there.
That's good.
Anyway,
1970s filter you've got on.
Yeah, like I think there should be 3 money pots, right? Boring project, unavoidable expenses. Although interestingly to me, this is debatable, because I'm thinking like, what expense has to be unavoidable? Like legal fees, web hosting, like everything theoretically could be donated to the project, and for a project that is totally owned by its users and members.
Wouldn't get hung up on it. Done.
Okay. Yeah. Then wages, so like people's own, you know, the crowdsourced workforce that we talked a bit about, helping people pay rent, enable them to work on the project more. I feel like, yeah, that's exciting. There's lots of options.
Here we go. I'm a millionaire, supposedly. I come into the project. Where do I go to find out your latest thoughts? You know, these thoughts, you just mentioned those. Where do I go to see? I can, you know, I'm a bit old. I'm a bit fuddy-duddy. I like to read a document. Where can I go to see this?
At the moment, I think the best thing is my blog, I reckon.
Okay. There's not a 1-pager, there's not a 2-pager or a 3-pager that says, this is the state of where we're at. This is the project plan. You're going to the bank.
The business plan, the one-page business plan?
Yeah. And where is that linked from?
Everything's on changethefuture.co.uk.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
And so you're confident that it's just so that stuff you just told me about is like that idea with different funding is there?
No. So the one-page business plan is like that's just at a glance the holistic kind of picture of the business, like funding, outreach, rollout strategy, members, problem, what it's doing. My blog looks more at kind of me talking freely about not just my relationship with the project, but like what's kind of going through my brain.
And where are you logging ideas? And where are you logging ideas such as the one you just told me? And by the way,
I mentioned the crowdsourced workforce in the blog a bit. I think there's a lot of room for improvement in it. I think Jack Pascoe doing the film may be part of that. That's kind of capturing the story, but less from a technical standpoint. That's more.
I'm not good at this either, but for me, that's the main issue. Is like if someone new comes in, how can they quickly get an assessment of where things are at And what is the live document that continually gets updated? The place where they can get a 3-page. That's where we're at the moment. And
yeah, so I guess that could be the stage 1 of 3, where Trello is stage 3. Lumio could be stage 2. Stage 1 is like the sort of vision and discussion. Basically, what are our challenges right now? Just using the Change the Future process, really. What are the problems we want to solve, or the opportunities that we want to exploit? So visioning in real time, because I guess I feel like particularly right now with the project unimaginably understaffed, in the sense that, you know, it's like the world's most powerful engine with hardly any petrol in it, and I'm just like dribbling, spitting little bits of petrol when and as I possibly can. But yeah, so I think it's difficult for me to make documents designed for presentation that aren't necessarily that functional for internal progression of the project, but more for outward.
I totally hear where you're coming from on that, and it's I can only think that it's just worth doing, because just even if it is lagging behind current thinking, you know, and it will do it by definition, because it won't be necessarily a collaboratively designed thing, because it'll be something that looks actually quite reasonable and clear and clean, and it's something that is just, you know, is updated every couple of months, and it's something, this is the latest thoughts, and it's making me think that I need to do this too. But
yeah, I think, you know, that's the kind of there might even be a task that is similar to that on Trello right now, but people are firstly confused by it, and the way it arrived on there wasn't through an inclusive process and whatever. So yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you again. I guess what I'd love, if it's possible, if there's a tool out there, is to make something that is so beautifully, elegantly designed for internal use, for kind of visioning and discussing, working out in priority what the problems and opportunities we want to address are, so that anyone outside can just glance at it and kind of get what we're doing and where we're at, and kind of like you were talking about, just sort of see at a glance. Like, so it's kind of, there's a lot of in-depth conversation, but you can also see an overview at the same time. And I think actually, disgusting as Rhizoma is, the way it kind of embeds, like, you can create a content list and then embed inside the contents list, and then embed inside that deeper and deeper and deeper. I think it can branch quite nicely into
I mean, I really hear you there, but it's just, I just don't think there's stuff out there that necessarily does that. And I suppose what I'm interested in is at some point stuff has to get like some sort of concreteness in terms of deliverable, in terms of documentation, code, whatever, and there is an element of time that can be spent getting the right tools together in order for people to work on stuff. That's all cool, but also I think parallel to that, it's useful perhaps to have just really old-fashioned technology like a Google Doc, where you just make something look nice. For instance, I learnt this. I was a perfectionist for many years. I always wanted to go, you know, the thing creates the thing that then creates the thing, and then it all just goes like that and it falls out and it's wonderful. And I went into business, and I was bashed for doing that because I never got anything actually produced. So, okay, I'm just having a look at your blog now. So,
I'm really late for this thing, man. I feel like I feel pressured to
go then.
Run away. Yeah, I'm just. I feel torn because I want to talk to you for more. But do you want to catch up? I feel sort of unusually busy today.
Well, no, let's have something next week, and let's not book it now, but let's think about we'll just work it out.
We'll check in with each other. Yeah, sweet.
Groovy. Have a good lunch.
Leave me with one thought.
Have a good lunch.
Yes, mate. Are you off, Jen? Yeah. Oh, I'm going to leave you with the thought of that thing I was saying. Essential project expenses, paying people a bit somehow, maybe even putting a bounty on tasks in Trello, sort of thing. There's an open source equivalent called like Bounty Source for paying people to fix a bug or whatever. That's an interesting idea I think could be played with. And then this one, which I think could be really exciting sort of catalyst for getting Change the Future out there, and another angle to make it splash is like just money with no allocation that's put into Change the Future as just and we could like pilot this through a crowdfunding campaign.
Have you documented that idea somewhere?
Not yet, it's pretty fresh.
Okay.
Right now, where's the best place to stick it? On my blog, or what do you reckon?
I leave you with a thought. Write it down somewhere.
Okay, nice.
Okay. Have a good one.
Nice one, mate.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.